Okay, this is for the students in 80 and 81N, and we're going to talk to you about a whole bunch of stuff. And let me start with discussion boards and points and things like that. Right now, there are roughly 250 points already gone in the class, and those are from discussion boards 60 points, speeches roughly 150, and exams 40. Now, what you have left in the class is 750 points. Now, that includes 100 points on the discussion board. There were a total of 160 points on the discussion board. Now, let me talk to you for a second about that because I want to look at one we just had in discussion board, and that had to do with write an analysis for your speech. And let me see if I can get that up here real easy. And maybe, okay, this is discussion board 6, and it was due on the 20th. And it says, read the directions for speech number 3. And then after you read the directions for speech number 3, it says the informative speech. What topics are you considering for your informative speech? Use this forum as an opportunity to brainstorm topics for your speech. If you start a thread, you could propose a topic, discuss how you would approach it, or mention some points you would make. Students may respond with helpful hints to your topic. Respond to at least one other student posting. Provide feedback to others, propose topics, how would you develop them, what research would you use, how could you develop your introduction, etc. Now, two elements here. One, put your information up there, brainstorm it a little bit, and two, respond to someone else. Now, if you didn't respond to someone else, you can't get more than half of the available credits. So you're already down to 5 credits. If you respond to someone else and you say something to them like, oh, I like that. That's a great idea. You're going to get 2 or 3 points for that because it's not a response that is even meaningful to the assignment. Okay? So what I'm saying to you is you're leaving points on the table because you're not reading the assignment. So now, you have coming up after your spring break the informative speech. So let's take a look and see what it says about that. It says that it's worth 200 points. It should run 5 to 8 minutes. You need 6 people, ages 16 and above. You need a speaking outline in this speech. So remember that, a speaking outline. And you need a preparation outline. That's 2 outlines. Many of you are not submitting both outlines. You need at least 1 visual aid is required for the speech. You need 3 sources for the speech presentation. And by the way, you must cite those sources verbally in your speech when you get into that actual. So if you say that pizza was discovered in Rome in the 16th century, you had better give me a source for that. It's not just you're so knowledgeable that you knew that off the top of your head. I need a source for that. You need a bibliography of the work cited. That'll be in your outline. And then it tells you how you're supposed to do the speech. The other thing that I'm looking at, in addition to the informative speech, which tells you what the purpose of it is the evaluation form. So what are you going to be evaluated on? Well, here's some things. You gained attention and interest. You introduced the topic clearly. All right. You established credibility. There's a whole thing in the blackboard and your textbook that talks about establishing credibility. But if you go into a topic and you have made no reference whatsoever to why you are talking about that topic. Now, let's go back to your process speech. Let's say you demonstrated something on cooking. Your credibility can be established simply as saying, I've been cooking since I was a little girl or a little boy. My mother, my father started me campfire cooking, and I liked it so much that I now do 7-course meals for my friends. you've established credibility. It's not just, we're going to tell you today how to cook s'mores. Okay, so what's your credibility on that? Let us know. All right, you then preview the body of the speech. What are you going to talk about? What are some things that you'll be telling me about in this speech? That's called preview. In the body of the speech, we need to make sure your main points are clear, that you fully support your main points. Again, if you say that it takes 12 men 400 days to do this, you better have a source for that. Make sure your sources are cited clearly. Don't say, my friend Roy says it takes 12 men 40 days to do that. That's not a good source, all right? And make it really clear who Roy is if you're citing Roy. Sources need to be written in the outline text. Got to be there written, but you've got to do it verbally in your speech. You've got to have the correct number of sources cited. You have to have your organization well planned. I talk about this. The flow has kind of got to move from one point to another. It sounds like you thought this all through and what you were going to do. By the way, back to your outline, it's written in full sentences. The outline is formatted properly. There's all kinds of information on what the outline is supposed to look like. All right. And that your connectives are effective. You go from this point to this point, and there's an effective connection. You hear me talk about flow. Make your points move evenly from one point to another. The language is appropriate and clear. You don't say, we be going to something. That's not appropriate or clear language. Then on the conclusion, you prepare the audience for the ending. In other words, you may say something like, so to summarize what I want you to remember about this speech, okay, now they know this is the ending. You reinforce your ideas. So what I've been telling you about is this and this and this, and this is how we've told you you can use this in your own life. All right. You summarize you reinforce the central idea, you summarize the main points, and it's a vivid ending. A vivid ending means you don't say, and that's my COMM 101 speech. Now, we need a vivid ending, meaning if you're talking to me about cooking the world's greatest dinner, you say, and the best part of this dinner is a glass of Bordeaux wine and this and this and a pretty person sitting across from you at the table. All right, it may not be wonderful, but it's better than saying, that's the end of my speech. Okay. Then in the delivery, you began the speech without rushing. You maintain strong eye contact. See how I'm looking at you now and you can see my eyes? All right. You use vocal variety to add impact, pitch, pace, tone, volume, silence. You come up really like this sometimes and you come down like that. I'm over-dramatizing this, yes. But notice that I have pauses at times. I change the volume. I change the tempo. Okay, think about that when you're speaking. That eliminates that monotone. Today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite all-time things of doing, and this is what brings me great joy in life. Whew. All right. Pause. Remember, pitch, pace, tone, volume, silence. Avoid distracting mannerisms. Some of you have hair that hangs down and you do that flip. Boy, do you look spastic when you do that. And some of you have the tisk when you talk, and that's pretty annoying. Some of you scratch while you're talking. Some of you have the god-awfulest T-shirts or slogan things on. Dress up for your speeches, those kinds of things. All that's distracting. Articulated the words clearly. The words like going, doing, being, all have a G on the end of it. It's not going, doing, being. Okay? Make sure that you articulate clearly. If you have a visual aid, I've asked that you not only show the visual aid there, but I don't want the camera zooming in and out. Give me a copy of the visual aid. I will know from the speech how you demonstrated it. I want to see the visual aid so I can look at it. Natural and conversational delivery. Talk to me, not at me. Don't lecture me. Don't speechify me. How are those for words for you? And then show some enthusiasm. You picked this topic. Show a little enthusiasm about it. hey, I want to talk to you about this because it's something I think is important. All right? Now, overall evaluation. You met the assignment. Topic was appropriate. The topic was useful and interesting. You held the interest of the audience. You met the audience requirement. The message was adapted to the audience. The speech was completed within the time limit. Remember, 5 to 8 minutes. It can't go less than 4:45. It can't go more than 8:15. All right, 15 seconds on either side of the time limit. The assignment was submitted on time. Remember that. And then finally on your outlines, your speaking outline overall quality, your preparation outline overall quality, and your bibliography of the works cited list. Okay. It's all there. It's all in writing. This is how you gain points in this thing. Now I know some of you are looking at the score so far and saying, oh man, this is hopeless. You have 750 points left to go in the class. If you did just kind of average work, at this point on, low average work, you'll end up with about, let's say 700 points. That's a C. Okay, you can do a lot better than that. Go for all the points you can get. Work on making your stuff as good as you can possibly make it. Okay? Again, if you have any questions, call me in my office. Make sure you don't leave points on the table. All of you can do this. Now, one other quick thing. Do not do a speech in which you cover any related topic to anything you've already spoken about in this class. Okay? And I strongly recommend that for your final speech, your persuasive speech, stay away from abortion. I will not allow that. Stay away from capital punishment. I've heard all of those speeches. I don't need to hear any more. And try to be creative in what you come up with. Okay? Have a good weekend. Your Blackboard grades are updated. I'm posting the Excel spreadsheet to show how you're doing in relation to everybody else in the class. And everything should be up to date. Have a great one.